Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chef's Meal, where we talk about whatever and never and everything else in between. Wait, it took out. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Now, welcome to the Chef's Meal. My name is Casey.
My name is Sean, and we're two chefs talking about our lives one finished plate at a time.
We talk about whatever and ever.
And everything in between.
Everything else in between. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a special episode today. Just want to kind of get that out of the way. It's if you have been living in Iraq, this is really good news for you. The world is in chaos, but also bad news for you because the world is in chaos. We're kind of gonna stab at some issues kind of turning around, but some food for thought, huh? Some of that.
Sure.
Just want to get this out of you too, Sean. I found some news today.
Okay.
Unemployment still hasn't come through. Amazing.
Ridiculous, man.
Right? Still struggling. And about by the end of June, if it still doesn't have to kick in, I have to take it out of my 401k, which is
Wow. Yeah,
which is not ideal whatsoever.
Not ideal, man. Them penalties are for real.
Yep, that is some issues right now. I'm still trying to call the unemployment offices. Still haven't gotten anything at all whatsoever. I've been trying every day. I email every day.
Imagine like the volume of calls that they're getting.
Yeah, like I can only.
We're up to 40 million people unemployed in the United States right now. That's
it's a little rough.
Yeah, especially considering it's like centered or on a lot of parts of the coast. So
yeah,
obviously we're making up a large percentage of that number.
Yeah. It's a little tough. It's I can't. Why can't somebody just answer the phone call? Like that is my one issue that's prohibiting me from getting this through. Is just somebody to give me a phone call back, be like, hey, we see the issue, because I can't physically correct it. Like I can only input, but it's like they kind of need to call me to confirm that's the issue I'm having.
Right.
And they're not doing that, so I can't get my unemployment, which is super frustrating. But bigger things matter at the moment. Sean, do you want to, in a way, just kind of in a snippet, how do you feel right now? I'm saying this as two people with people of color. I'm yellow-ish, and you're just full-on tinted out.
I'm black. It's me.
I do want to say this though, in Asia there is such a thing as color diversity as well, right?
Sure.
Japanese people are considered the white supreme kind of color, and it kind of has a hierarchy. It's sad, but it all comes down to that. It's always usually the Japanese, the Chinese, Koreans, and then all the brown Asians, which is the Malaysians, the Thailand, us, and Indians, because India is part Asia. We're the brown Asians, so I know all about struggling, and it's kind of tough to say because I'm Asian, so it's like a different mentality altogether. Here in the States, if we're talking over there in the Philippines, I can tell you all about it. Okay, it's completely different. Over here though, yes, kind of, I can kind of feel it, but it's not the same. It's really not the same. I'm not even 4 shades of the same as you are. So in a way, how do you feel right now? Like I if you go on all social media, all my buddies right now, I'm all for it. Like, bro, let's speak up. What is happening? How do you feel?
It's a lot of different feelings. There is there's despair, right? There's grief. There is reluctance. There is acceptance.
Yeah.
There's pride. There is a sense of relief. And there's hope too. You know, it's a lot of it's all those things. It's all those things. I feel like, if you're listening to this podcast or watching us on Facebook or YouTube at this point, you have been inundated with all sorts of messaging, hopefully, that can kind of break down the history of racism in the United States. And I mean, I can tell you, from my vantage point as an African American in this country, my whole life, you know, racism is something that, you know, like I deal with every day. You know, it informs every decision that I make. You know, it's the best I could say is, like, if you knew that you had a hurdle in front of you all the time, it's like you just got to think about how you're going to approach it, right? Like, are you going to back away from it? Are you going to jump over it? Are you going to run through it? Are you going to step under it? And you know, the reality is, like, those hurdles change all the time. You know, police brutality is a symptom of the underlying racial dynamics of the United States. There's like no doubt about that. And obviously the murder of George Floyd, you know, the recent incident of the two Coopers in Central Park, you know, they're different examples, but still representative of, like, the same issues. Which is that, you know, people in this country, you know, it doesn't even really depend where they were born, but, you know, by the virtue of the color of their skin, like, you know, are treated differently. You know, there are institutional systems that treat them differently. You know, and like I said, you know, if you're fortunate, you can be in a place where you can recognize that and work through it. And even that is not a good place to be. And if you're unfortunate, it works through you. And, you know, that could be reflected in a loss of opportunity, a loss of life, you know, not getting the benefit of the doubt. Like, all these things are things that people of color, and in this specific set of circumstances, Black people deal with all the time.
On a daily.
You know? And again, it's like you come, and it's not to say that all people are racist, because I certainly don't believe that. You know, I definitely know that, you know, racism is something that is, you know, like, it's taught, you know, it's reinforced. And like you were mentioning before, you know, if you're born or live in different places, like, the dynamics of racism are completely different, you know?
Completely different.
Said,
like,
being
I can tell
Black
you all about how Asians
North America is one thing, and even just, you know, being Black in the West Indies is another. Being Black in Africa is different, like, you know. But the reality is that since these concepts are not universal, you know, they don't have to exist. And like what I was mentioning before about having hope, the thing that gives me hope is seeing all of the broad spectrum of people that are out there marching and protesting every day, you know. And what that shows me is that a lot of people are fed up with the inequality. You know, they might not necessarily be confronted with it in the same way, but they see that injustice, and they're willing to put themselves out there, at least as of right now, to kind of propel some sort of market social change. So, you know, to all the people that are out there marching, you know, to all the people that are active on their social media feeds, to all the people that move in silence but still move with the cause of like, ensuring that everyone is treated as fairly as they possibly can be. Like, I salute them. And as far as this country and this time is concerned, like, if you truly in your heart, feel that you do not like how things are going right now, I mean, there's steps that you can take. Most of which is in keeping yourself accountable, keeping the people around you accountable. And then when you take a step past that, being active in like your local politics and making sure that, in your broader community that people are held accountable as well, if you want to make progressive moves, if you want to change the status quo, then, you got to empower the people that are willing to advocate for those changes. And like I said, you vote, you put them in power, and then you don't stop there. You make sure that they're accountable for it too.
Yeah.
And pretty much that's the only way that things are going to change. Like I said, I'm Black. This is America. I'm 38 years old.
Yeah.
Police brutality didn't stop because, the world got nigh to it. In fact, we saw over the last couple of days that, like, still continued. You know what I'm saying?
It's
in all
still
sorts
been
of
continuing.
Different, more brazen ways. Lives are still lost. But, what I'm hoping is that, people will still continue to fight for what they understand injustices are. And, they'll be motivated to make the change they need to make.
There's a phrase that I always tell my brother. I don't necessarily always tell it to him, but he knows it, right? It's called "I am my brother's keeper." You probably heard of this.
Sure.
A lot of people know this phrase, and this is really true to all my friends. Like, I am my brother's keeper. Like, to my extent, like, I would try and keep you accountable, and at least trying to make you see something, even if you don't. And I expect you to do the same for me. That is what I mean by my brother's keeper. There's plenty of times when my brother physical, but like my literal brother, when he kind of did wrong, and I was like, yo, like you messed up, homie. Like, that's not how it is. And obviously a lot of talking, a lot of explaining, and kind of him understanding what it meant. And then he would follow through afterwards and how he did wrong. Hopefully you have somebody like that having you accountable for your actions, and vice versa, to keep you accountable. Because I think that's really important, because when I saw the initial picture, and I don't want to rehash anything, I don't want to put photos up or having articles on the site. However, it is extremely sickening when I saw how the policeman was on top of the dude's neck. Like, that was just, is that uncalled for? Absolutely.
That's it.
Even
and it's
me,
unquestionably uncalled for.
Like,
and I think that's
even
one of
with
those
somebody
things where, like,
not trained, like, bro, you're not gonna pin somebody down like that. Are you serious? Like, that's, come on, guys. Like, that was extremely maddening from my perspective. And that was just a shot. So for me, it was really, when I get frustrated, I get or upset, I kind of, not necessarily shut down, but I kind of take time to refocus. So that's what I did. I was like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna look at any more articles, like, because I'm really getting mad at it. So that, for me, I literally stopped social media for like the past 3 days. I haven't opened Facebook. I haven't touched Twitter, just so I can get my mind right. Yeah, I know it's a struggle for a lot of us, and I know for you too, because you're pretty active on those. So
that's it, man.
I mean, and that's right now.
You said if you want to see change happen, you've got to be proactive. Like I said, I feel like it's been said in a lot of places. these last couple of days, but and I'll repeat it again too. Like, this country, was founded on revolution. It was founded on people saying that, like, there was a structure and authority that was imposed on them, and they didn't want it. And the founding fathers took action to get some things done. And then kind of laid the foundation for a set of freedoms that was afforded to some people.
Yeah. And
in time was, supposed to be afforded to everyone. So,
Absolutely.
You can hope, and again, that's why I'll get back to what I was saying before, that people in this time and people with this opportunity, can be advocates for social justice and parity for everybody. And hopefully, when there's an event in the future, or a set of circumstances in the future that causes society to kind of stop and reflect and see where it actually is, there will be people looking to keep everyone accountable, and then start moving toward where they want society to go. Yeah. Again, like I said, I know what objectives I'm looking for. Like I said, it's parity. It's a breakdown of some of the institutions that keep things the way that they are. They could be worse, and I think if you were paying attention, people got a glimpse earlier in this week of like how things could be worse. It could, things could be worse.
It could
really quickly,
really
quickly. Yeah. It doesn't take much. So again, like, you gotta be empowered to make the changes that you want. In yourself and in your community. That's it. You don't know how much time you have. That's what you can do.
Yeah. I guess the best we can. It's like not try to be the bigger person, but at least try to bring positivity out. Because we have a phrase in the kitchen: garbage in, garbage out. Pretty much, right? You don't take in garbage because you're gonna spew out garbage. So we want to make sure that all the ingredients are as clean as possible, so we have a clean product going out. You're not gonna change it by having garbage as your main priority. You need to be the factor for the change, and you need to be positive for it. So, and I think that's one of the hardest pills to kind of swallow, in my opinion, because it's like this. It's like, I just want to do this, but I know that it's not gonna change anything. So I need to be a better person. So, like I said, I know I jeer at it. I'm just yellow. Okay.
That's it, man. But I'm telling you, bro.
If we're in the Philippines,
like I said, you like, these things affect you too. You know what I'm saying? I got my eye on some legislation that's changing in the Philippines right now.
Yeah,
some interesting stuff. Changed recently there too.
It's a lot.
So again,
coming from a dictator country to a country over here that's free. So it's a different change altogether, and I don't know, just different mindsets. Like, that's why I said it in the beginning. I don't know how to feel over here in the United States, because I'm not from this country. However, if you take me back to where I was born, I can tell you all about it. That's a different section altogether. So, but since the whole world's kind of connected in the internet, this is how we all kind of communicate, and everybody kind of sees the same news, sort of. If you want to see.
I mean, we're completely globalized, and again, I think that's what also provides real insight into the way that, like, people are living, institutions are structured, governments function, and you can't hide that in the same ways. Like, propaganda doesn't stand in the same ways, and there are people literally marching all over the world right now, And
for different reasons of themselves too, not just
sure,
this.
because some of these injustices are universal. Again, like a boot, to not to be cavalier, but like a boot on the neck in Milwaukee is the same as a boot on the neck in New York, and the same as it would be in Paris or Milan or Manila, right? Like this is the same.
It's the same exact thing.
People just want to be able to work and thrive and support themselves and their families. Like these things are universal. And then the layer on top of that is where things start to get different. You talk about how people might want to like worship, or maybe what kind of I don't know, theoretical goals that they have on top of that. But when you get to that baseline level, it's all they want. You know what I'm saying? You just want to.
It's like the same, dude.
Be with your people, eat something good, live healthy and thrive, and have the opportunity to kind of pass on some of that prosperity to your next generation.
Do you ever think that? And again, I don't want to rehash too much. Do you think that the guy really thought that the other person that he was pinning down was different than he was?
Oh, 100%. I don't think.
No, like in a way.
Yes.
Cause
that's.
Don't you think
that's it?
Because if you cut yourself open, bro, we bleed all the same.
Yeah, but there's
this is a man, bro. Like he should know better. That's what's so maddening about it.
But you say right there, like, this is a man, but that was not someone treating someone else with the same dignity that they would want to be afforded themselves.
Yeah.
Because if they did, you wouldn't operate in the same way.
It's I still remember the first time I saw the news. I'm just like, yo. The first thing I noticed, his knee on his neck. I was like, that's not how we hold somebody, or kind of just keep them down, and then all of a sudden killed. Just like, yo, that needs to stop. Like that's because it brought me back as if I was back in my country in a dictatorship, kind of. Because that's almost like a normal, and that I don't want that for here.
Yeah.
That's my initial thought.
For a lot of people, and again, it's obvious too. Like that is not their reality. When confronted with the legal system, or even like just police, you're not operating with the same understanding that things could turn deadly.
Yeah.
I could tell you from my vantage point, like, you driving down the highway, man, them lights come up behind you, and like immediately you're just like, do I have all my shit together? Like,
oh my god, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it all together? Is this officer, like, did he have a good day? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna bring this dude, or this if it's a female officer, this the level of respect afforded to the situation, but still like there's a lot of uncertainty in every interaction. And again, like, that is not something that I think a lot of people, or most people, even share.
I don't have to tell you the amount of times I got. I see people get pulled over. Like, I'm not saying that it's like those things don't happen, but I know.
I could almost guarantee that when you got pulled over, a few months ago, in the back of your head, you were not thinking like, I could die. Like, who is like, you're just like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna get this ticket and it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna go home, right? Like, and for a lot of people, a lot of people of color, a lot of black people in different parts of this country, that's not what they're they're not thinking that. Like they're thinking, man, I don't want a ticket, but like, where else is this gonna go?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I hope to get home.
Yeah, there's different levels to it.
Yeah,
I know.
This is different levels to it. There was a comment from sad. The chat. It was from Tevdon McNeil.
Oh, it's Ted.
And yeah, he was saying, "Hey, what's up, Casey? Quarantine treating you?" And then I guess he mentioned or asked or commented. He was like, "I don't think he had a thought of color. It was a thought of fear." I'm assuming he's talking about the officer.
I think so too.
Again, my
like that's his job, though. You know what I'm saying?
Again, and that's it too. It's like,
I know it's a different situation.
There's a measure of responsibility that police officers have because they have a tough job. Like I could not imagine what it's like to know that more often than not, the interaction you're gonna have with people is always at their worst.
Yeah.
I know in the cartoons you be calling police officers and firefighters to get a cat out of a tree, but I'm pretty sure when someone's calling 911, it's not for that. So, they are going to confront terrible situations and they're going to have to make split-second decisions. But, personally, I feel like if that's your occupation, you still need to carry it out with respect and operate within the boundaries of the power that you're given.
Or they can just be better, Sean.
They gotta be better.
That's all I want to say. Like they could literally just be better. Yeah, they pull a knife on you. Cool. You should know even better to get that out of the way without harming the other. Like it should be that. Like everyone should have like kung fu master training. You know what I'm saying? Like as if we're watching like an old kung fu flick. You know what I mean? Like the masters all come out. They whip out weapons and like, oh, okay, what you gonna do to it? You know what I'm saying? Ho ho ho. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. I know I'm trying to jeer at it, but it should be. These police officers are trusted with our lives to keep some sort of control, and they should be a whole lot better than any of us at any given one point, and to give us like 4 times the benefit of anybody else, period. No matter skin color or what, it should be that, and it should not have a black and white kind of filter on it. That's just the most maddening thing. And I can only relate, bro.
I got hope.
Me too.
I got hope that everyone out there marching and dancing and chanting and screaming, for injustice is going to continue to work to make sure that, injustice is stamped down. And equity and social equality is something that everyone can receive as it's supposed to be afforded to them. It's only going to be better for everybody.
Just be better. That's that's what I keep saying in my head, like just be better. If you are law enforcement, just be better. Just be so good at your job that you can run around in circles in a minute compared to one dude that can do it in like 40 minutes. Like it's just be better so things like this don't happen. That's all. That's what's really bothering me in my head. So hopefully, I think I opened it up today. I think the main headline, or I don't know, one of the headlines where the police, whoever was in that, I think the 4 officers that were in the scene,
they've
got
been
charged, right?
Since pulled into custody, and the process begins for them. And as unfortunate as this circumstance is, even that kind of shows you some of the inequities in the system, in which, for George, if he had made a trespass against society or the law, you're supposed to be brought in like these officers are, and then you go through the legal process. You can be, if it's a civil thing, you pay a fine. If it's a criminal thing, you're brought to trial, jury or your peers, and then you can advocate for yourself. And if you happen to be found guilty or liable, then you suffer the consequences there. Like I said, these officers, that's what they'll get to whatever measures it's going to be. I'm not going to speculate about that right now. But that's how things are supposed to go. So that's what we're looking for. And for everyone else, take the time to look at the inequities in your circumstances and try to mitigate them. Like, everyone can do it. Like, everybody. I don't care where you work or how you do or where you go to school or where you live. Like, there's some measure of change that you can do. And if everyone does it, things will be better.
Yeah. We all help each other. Be your brother's keeper, right?
That's
so
it.
From a small lesson from us to you, if
man.
you have a brother, not literally but figuratively, try to keep him accountable, and hopefully your brother also keeps you accountable. Or if it's not a brother, it's a sister, it's just a figure of speech. Okay.
Yeah.
Be your sister's keeper if you have a sister instead. All right. Not in too much though, Sean. In one sentence, this is going to be the hardest one, I think. In one sentence, what do you want to see change? Think about it. Take a deep breath. I know this is coming from you, who is being. I mean, you had to live this your entire lifetime,
Man. I mean, I would love for there to be an end to racism. I mean, like, and everything that racism permeates. But to say that, I feel would be really short-sighted. So I'm going to expand out racism to be inequities, social inequities. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say racism, if you want to say sexism, colorism, like let's all work on mitigating and getting rid of those. We don't need them. We don't need them. We do not. We don't need them. We don't need them. So let's do that. I know it's not a sentence, but that's what I got.
It's your sentence, bro. That's coming off of you. That's from your heart. I think that says you proud. In my country, before I left, I remember this. I was 12 before I left. I just wanted the country to be not in a dictatorship. That's all I wanted, because from a kid's standpoint, it was like it's like as if you were talking to a bigger adult and be like, why can't I play over there in that yard? And the adult just goes, because I said so. Literally, end of discussion. That's how it felt. Hopefully here in the US it's in turn like that. It's just, that's a tough lifestyle, man. It's and that's my 2 cents in all of this, from a smaller person of color, and a yellower tint, let's just say.
Say, man, make the changes.
My wife and I were gonna go to some events this Saturday. But I'll tell you off stream.
Sure,
Some
no
other
problem.
bigger things just happened. and I think you'll get a kick out of it. But there were events here in Jersey. At least a few of my friends, not really texting me, but on Facebook, were pinging all their buddies, all the musicians.
Right.
We're kind of in a short circuit. So quite a few of them were actually out and about here in New Jersey area, and they were giving out water bottles to the protests peacefully, obviously.
Sure.
Just kind of like, hey, I know it's hot. I know it was stupid hot today. They came out with water bottles with signs up. Everybody was having a great time, all for the cause, supporting. So if you were one of them, if you're listening, big ups to you. Wish I were there with you. I had some other events that I had to kind of attend to today, but not too much. I do want to get into some food stuff if you don't mind, Sean.
Yeah, no problem. You know what the show is about.
In the same kind of likeness, there's some other things happening here in food news, right? In the month of I was gonna say January. Here in June, oh my goodness. Let's blow it up into the big scene right here. Before I do that, let me get into that. National Donut Day is the first Friday of every month. Hold on, it's a little bright. Face I go. First Friday of every month. Sean, do you have a favorite donut?
It's changed over time, but I generally go. I'm a basic bitch, so give me a glazed donut and whatever.
That's it. Just a glazed donut.
Look, man, I don't really have a sweet tooth like that, so.
I mean, if it's Krispy Kreme, though.
Sure, Krispy Kreme.
That's that. Oh, you say glazed, I say crispy. This
that
is
looks amazing.
Yeah. There's a whole lot that goes on. I think Dunkin' Donuts rolls out free donut for that day, so you can just go to your local. I'm not sure of any other. I think Krispy Kreme's does almost like 80% off on like a dozen, which is crazy.
Oh, that's not
so
bad.
They just like they go bananas because they want to obviously beat Dunkin' Donuts. I'm pretty sure all the other bakeries will have something similar on like donut specials. But like, hey, buy one half off, buy one get one, or something like that. So make sure you do stop and buy. Here in Washington D.C., a man offered up his home as a shelter for protesters who would not make it home by curfew. This is really awesome by him. I think I just read one of these.
That was a dope story.
Yeah, this is really cool. Again. The Washington D.C. curfew, I think they changed it again. The curfew is now at 7 p.m. Some of the people that weren't able to make it home, this man offered his space and to give some pizzas also for the people that were kind of not able. So that's that. Hey, this is a guy that's changing something, right? A guy that wants to do something, but substitute the word guy for you. So that's little things like that will add up for 2 hours. So this is really awesome. Restaurants, I know here in Jersey in about 2 weeks they're lifting out the mandate. You can now go to restaurants, but it needs to I'm not sure if your restaurant already has emailed you. They emailed us. We're not doing this because it's still in a closed space. So if you have an open outside space, they'll allow you to. They were able to serve you the food, the meal, but you need to be 6 feet apart. And like they're gonna be like stupid strict about this, so no interactions, whatever. I think our company said the servers all have to have like a different uniform altogether for serving purposes, so nothing in contact, so it's gonna look weird.
Okay.
But I don't know, it's gonna be as we all know, COVID-19 still happening, a lot of them. Obviously check with your local state and regulations on what's going to be happening and opening. I know here in Jersey in about 2 weeks, most of the bans are lifting, and I think a different set of curfew will be issued. I'm not entirely sure, don't quote me on that. But apps like Resi, OpenTable, and Talk allow people to reserve tables at local restaurants in response to the novel coronavirus. These apps have found new ways to serve their users. Currently it's open. I don't want to say beta testing, that's so PC sounding, but it's in its beta phase right now. You can kind of sign up. I don't know if they queue you up or something, be like you're within I don't know, this and this time, and you literally need to be done by XYZ. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be the newest thing until we kind of get into it. 10 ways food brands and restaurants are responding to calls to action by Black Lives Matter. There's a whole lot of them. Ben & Jerry's, the ice cream brand, has been vocal about the movement in the past. In addition to resharing the post they made in 2016, they also issued another blog post called "Silence is Not an Option." So this is from them right here. It's just a lot of people can do so much with, if you have like the social platform for it. The big ups for you, man. A lot of them are giving out money to foundations and to organizations that are leading it. If I could do it too, I will give you my money, but I am currently broke. I cannot give too much out. I'm currently needing unemployment. New Jersey, if you're listening, bro, homies, I need my unemployment, man. McDonald's president issued an open letter to LinkedIn saying the company would provide several opportunities to discuss its issues and our commitment to diversity and inclusion. So the most popular one right now is just the black screen. This is like the most common with the hashtag. I've been seeing this. I didn't know what the hell it was. Yeah. Caitlin had to explain this to me.
Tuesday.
I was like, oh, got it. I'll make sure to link the link in the episode down below so you can kind of see all the blogs. For our grocery store owner donated perishable food to the community after being looted. I know, let's not get this mixed up. Looters are looters. That's a different people altogether. Those are people taking advantage of the situation. But protesters are different altogether because they're there for a movement. They're there for to change something because they don't feel like they're not being heard. Okay, protesters, looters, completely different. I don't care what skin color you are. Those are two different people, two different mindsets. Don't get it mixed up. ShopRite is the biggest one for this one. I think I forget exactly which one. But a Share Food program is an organization based in Philadelphia that distributes food to low-income families in the area. If you're in the UK, they actually do this right now. You cannot throw food if you are a business. Like, it needs to be held so the homeless can get your food. So you can't just throw it out. So there's a lot of in place for that. I completely appreciate that and dig that. I think that should be incorporated here in the US soon. Like, verbatim. Like, you can't throw food out, put it to the side for homeless, because it's food that's completely fine and perfect, just throwing out into the trash. Like, it should not be like that. And then the last, this is a big ups to my wife also, and for every healthcare professions. They are marching in solidarity across the U.S. A lot of movement. I know my wife was part of it over here in Hackensack, where they took some moments out of their day to protest as well, to be behind the people. She didn't work today, but I think she told me Monday she was part of something. But the people in the front lines right now during the pandemic also showing support. That's what's up. There should be a lot more of this, and that's kind of what I want to end it to. Just be better, ladies and gentlemen. That's like the main thing. Just be better. Just be better, bro. Like, that's all I want to say. Be better at what you do. Be so good that you're like a Michael Jordan. You know, in your profession.
So you gotta make the effort and be the advocate for the change that you're looking to happen. That's it.
That should be a shirt, Sean. That's yeah. Just be better. Hashtag just be better. Okay. As we mentioned, you can check out all the episodes right below. Chef Salty Pork Podcast on YouTube, Pork and Wine, my main channel. You can check out Sean at MetroCardX on Twitter. We do reply, so if you leave any comments or anything during the live stream right now or into our channel, we do check them out and reply to you. Or if you have any questions at all regarding anything based on food, life, or just kind of tech, Sean and I will give you our best answer possible. It's not always right, but it's always an answer. Okay. We will try to do our research for you. If it's food related, though, we have over 30 years experience. Okay, so we kind of know some kind of ways to that. But anything other than that, though, you're kind of taking our 2 cents for it, though, right? So, Sean, let's send him out with a good one, huh? Yeah. Give me one positive word.
It's hope, brother.
Or not positive. Just give me give
man.
me one word.
We'll go with positive right now. We'll go with hope.
Hope. I want to say reconciliation would be my word. That's what I would like for people to realize after. So hope and reconciliation. I think those are some good endings to the stream. But I'm actually gonna end up with this though, Sean. As we started, we're gonna end up with this. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the Stress Me Out. I know it's a special episode, but other than that though, peace out from us.
Peace out, internet.
This is such a rad track.
Yeah, it's fire.